Guys, I wanted to make this video, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it because all these other videos I made is a would you click video. I have the console. I say, yeah, well, not would you click. Sorry, I do think it's worth it. Like kind of video. Do I think the Game Boy Advance is worth it? If you haven't seen that video yet, I'm waiting on it because I want to wait to get my games I have coming in the mail, and whatever. This is going to be on the Famicom. Technically, I don't own a Famicom. This is why it's not going to be, like, do I think the console's worth it? Because I play it on the Retron 5. If you haven't noticed, I have two of them. Well, I had two of them because I broke one. But, point is, this is a different type of video, technically. It's, not do I think the console worth it? Do I think you should collect one? Not sure what I'm going to call it. Whatever. I'm going to go over some of the games I have. I picked out more of some of the more notable ones because I actually have a lot of Famicom games. Way more games than I have regular NES games. I just realized my wheel of my chair is on a cord. I had to pick it up. But first of all, I love the Famicom. One of my favorite consoles to collect for. I order games for it almost constantly because they're really cheap. First, I'm going to go with my controller. Thanks to my Retron 5, I can just use an NES controller. But just so you know, for the Famicom, there is ways to play it on an American system. There's adapters coming out. I'm not sure what company made it, but I remember seeing it at like a gaming expo. I've seen someone record it. They have a thing that looks like an adapter that looks like the NES cartridge, but you know, it has a little slot for a Famicom game. So now there's even ways to play it on the original toaster. So I use, of course, the NES controller because the Famicom controller didn't go apart. Even though eventually I do plan on buying an actual system if I ever can get a good one, like, you know, as least yellowing as I can for a good price. But yeah, I use this, but thanks to the Retron 5, I can also use Sega Genesis arcade stick. I'm not sure why I grabbed this one because I never use it. Not sure why, I just never use it. I mostly use this Super Nintendo arcade stick, even though I am planning on buying a NES arcade stick this weekend, just, you know, what I had at the time. And they have one in my local game store that I want to grab if I get the money before someone else gets it. But first, I'm going to go over some of my more notable games. I'm probably going to list all my games. We're just going to go over one by one, kind of in sections. First, this is the whole reason I started collecting Famicom games. Let's see what game it is. I think it was this one that I started with, and this one, and this one, I want to say. These were my first two Famicom games. In case you haven't noticed by my thing back there, and I think I've had quite a few Famicom, well, not Famicom, I had quite a few Dragon Ball games in my collection. If you ever see my collection video, I love Dragon Ball games, and the Famicom ones are no exception. These ones I couldn't translate at first because the translation patch wasn't out yet when I got them. So I had to play them with, like, because Retron 5 can translate it, so I had to play them, you know, like anybody else would play it for a little bit till I got it. But I will say, you could understand the game pretty easily, except the shops, you know, where you buy new weapons and everything. That's one thing that I will say was really complicated. But yeah, all these games are a really good turn-based strategy game. And we got a couple turn-based strategy arcade games, I think, inspired by it. They had their own version. Well, the point is, they ported one game over, and it's actually a game I own. I was going to buy the Japanese copy, but I own it on the American copy. They have a Game Boy Color game that came out here that's like these. But if you've never played these games, these are really cheap. These, I want to say, are $3 shipped a piece, you know? Not all of them, but... And one thing that I will say, this is the one exception to the turn-based. This, we actually did get here under the name of Dragon Power. This is based on the original Dragon Ball. It is basically like, I want to say an arcade game, because you just try to get as far as you can, but let's move on, because I don't have a whole lot of time to go over all these games. And another great turn-based strategy franchise that we actually got here now, but this is the Dragon Quest game, also known here as Dragon Warrior. I like these games. I'm not sure if you can play these without I'm not sure if you can play these without translation because I really never have, but for $3 a piece, I wouldn't mind just owning these if I like the future games. Like, I played number 1 so far. This is number 1. This is number 1. I've only played number 1 so far. But I, like, from the games I have played, like the DS versions, I just wanted to own these at first just because that's really cool, you know, to own these old games. Next, Bomberman. I'm not going to say much about Bomberman because I haven't played it that much. Just saying that this is a really good game. I think it's like $3 or $4. And one more pricey game, trying to kind of organize the games I've seen. But some of the more pricey games is the Mario Bros. Game. And by pricey, I mean these aren't that expensive compared to games here, just more pricey because those ones were like $3 and, you know, $3 around there. This was, I want to say like $5 a piece for Mario Bros. 3 and Mario Bros. 1. I haven't got 2 yet because, you know, that one came on the Famicom disc system. And the only one they got there that is called a Mario Bros. US, which is weirdly more expensive. My least favorite Dragon Ball game. Sorry. Yeah, not Dragon Ball. Mario. And I also have the original Mario Bros. The arcade game. I think that was around $4 or $5 as well. I think that one, no, that one might have been cheaper. I think it was like $3 because, you know, it doesn't have Mario on the cover. I already reviewed these games. I already talked about them. I also have the Fist of the North Star games. I had to think of the name because I'm not a big fan of the anime. I just remember someone watched. I will say all 3 of these are completely different games. Number 1 tries to be, at least if I remember, I could be wrong. This one tries to be a fighter game, but it's really terrible graphics. It looks like it could be on the Ataris, and really hard to play. This is number 2. I think if I remember, or it might not be. I think this one might have been an arcade like beat 'em up game that was very fun, or it could be an RPG. Either way, this one's the other one if I'm thinking wrong. And next, I got Doraemon. I've played number 1. I haven't played number 2 that much. Number 2 is more of a turn-based strategy game. From what I've played a tiny bit. I've tested it out and make sure it works. Number 1, I think this is one. At least I'm not sure. I'm not sure how these are numbered because they have names, random names. But point is, this one is a top-down shooter at first, but then there's levels in it that is platformers. And yeah, point is that game's very fun. I'm not gonna. Well, no, this one's very fun. This one, I don't know about. You know, I listed them wrong. Next is Peach Boy. Just pretty fun game. I'm not going to say much about it. And one thing I want to say, I'm not sure, like these aren't, like I can't translate them, so I'm not sure, I've never played them. But they had, Japan had the first J-Stars games. These are crossover games that we have on the PS4. And yeah, I think that's really cool. They had the first J-Stars game that I know of. And it has Goku, Fist of the North Star, all of them. Not going to say much about it because I haven't played it. I just thought it was cool, so I ordered them. And they're like $3 a piece, so. And one good game that's always fairly cheap, good series. This is the first one I own. It plays more like, I guess, Mario, or side-scroller. And this one is kind of like an arcade game. I would say kind of like Pac-Man and Mappy mixed together, kind of. But, yeah. This one, I don't know what it's called because I don't know what it is. But this is an anime-based game, I'm guessing. I haven't watched the anime. But it's very fun. It's a side-scroller. I don't know anything about it, and that's what it's called. Here's the label in case you ever see it, but it's around $3, and it's pretty fun. I ordered number 2 already. Okay, getting down the list. This is a game called Super Chinese. It's an arcade game, kind of. I guess that's what you call it. Arcade game is just what I call a simple game, by the way. Like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, that simple game. This is Kirby. This is a very pricey game here, but I think that in Japan it's around $8. I ordered it. It's around $8, and yeah, I think if you know Kirby, it's worth $8. At least where I am at, the only game store I know of sells these games crazy expensive. One of these is a turn-based. One of these has a weird turn-based strategy game, and one of them is very fun. One of them has like a side-scroller part, and one has a very advanced turn-based strategy system that I don't understand. So I'm gonna let you make that choice. Okay, that's all the games that I really have anything to say about. So now I'm just gonna list the games. This whole series of game, well, these three, I got just because I started to look at. I had a whole bunch, had all the same names, so I grabbed them. I think it's like NECA or something like that, or something like that. This is Mineseeker, written in English. I haven't played it yet. I have a lot of games. I get these very cheap. Those are around $3 games. This one, I think I played it, but I really don't remember it. This is called like Treasure King, like Treasure something. I plan to play it, but I haven't played it yet. Tetris, you know, I like it. I just don't have much to say about it. It's Tetris. Only thing I had to say about it has a different button layout than American Tetris for some reason. And I forgot what this one was called, but it's not bad. This one is called Doughboy. The only thing I have to say about it, I think they're making fun of us. It has a burning flag and it's called Doughboy, and you attack. You know, I think they're Americans. I'm just saying, I think they might hold a grudge, and I just thought it was funny. Okay. Don't remember the name. Don't remember the name. This one, actually, I have a little bit to say about it. Just not that interesting. When I was little, I played a lot of knockoff consoles. Those ones that have like 10,000 games in one. And this one reminds me of a game that was always listed as WWE, but I never knew any of the characters. No wonder I didn't know any of the characters. It wasn't any WWE game. This is Murder the Mississippi. From what I can tell, it's a point and click. Kind of is I don't know. I think it's not point and click, but, you know, investigate stuff. But the only translation I can find has really bad English. So, you know, I haven't played too much of it. And I have Ultraman games just because I wanted Ultraman and it was like $3, and I'm collecting these games. Anyone I don't have, eventually I want to own them because they're really cheap compared to American games. F1 Race, and I got another one that I just got because the name had the same letter, the same word in the title as the other one. Okay, those fell. But in case you haven't noticed, I have a lot of these games. They're really fun to collect, and I guess I like waiting in the mail. But sorry, this isn't the most interesting video. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna upload it. So see you guys later.